Howdy folks, Mackie here with Mackie Red Horsemanship again, and this is the second part of my working with this little horse, Mona. As you remember the last video, she had just turned and was now heading off clockwise, so nothing happened in between. This is just as raw as it gets. Anyway, I wanted you to see how things develop for her. She doesn't have to go around this direction very long. She gave me the signs that she was willing to have a conversation about things, and so we did. So she stops, and then what I began to do is what I call walking the arc. Now, it wasn't windy when I filmed this, so I left the audio of me talking to her so that you see how little talking I do when it comes to working with the horse. You'll hear me cluck, and that's to encourage her to move forward, and then basically all you hear me say is good girl, just to assure her that she's doing the right thing. So I left that on. We'll see how that all works. But anyway, right, I start to walk what I call the arc, and you'll notice is she's looking. She already knows where I'm supposed to be. So she's waiting for me to get over there, and when she moves her hip, I'm going to back up, as you see me back up. But notice when I start my walk across, I get closer to her. So this arc gets closer and closer and closer. What I'm trying to encourage her to do is to follow me. So every time she takes a step toward me, I'm going to try to walk away from her. Because the camera is mounted on my head, I don't have a camera on the back of my head, so some of what she's doing you can't see. So as I turn away, but you'll watch her feet. Her feet step toward me right here, and when they do, I try to move away because I'm really trying to encourage her to kind of be with me. And once I kind of get her thinking this way and she kind of figures it out, then I'm going to stop and I'm just going to rub her on her forehead so that she knows that it's a good thing. There's 2 steps that you can see right there, so it's a good thing. And then I want her, when she comes toward me, to be rewarded. Now eventually I might use a treat here to reinforce this behavior, but I don't have a treat with me on this occasion, and I don't want to start out that way, so I don't. But in the course of time I might use a treat just to reinforce the behavior. You see her walking toward me, and when I face her, she looks at me like, what do you want? Right there. But eventually she follows me around here pretty good. You might be able to hear my voice in there encouraging her with clucking. And then you might hear, good girl kind of thing. And then pretty soon I'm going to walk over here and just get the lead rope and halter and put my stick down. And then I'm going to start working with her feet. Now you notice I'm just standing and letting her rest. You can tell by the flaring of her nostrils that she's breathing good, which is what I want. Every now and then she'll stick her nose forward just to smell me, to try get associated with my scent. She doesn't like me being on her off side or her right side. And so we're just going to work at that. We're just going to spend more time. And once I get her to stand still, I'll move over to the other side. But I'm real quiet. I try to be real slow. Now when I get to this other side, I start rubbing her with my left hand, as you're going to see. But when I switch to my right hand, it startles her, and she jumps. But she doesn't run off, and that's my fault. I should have been a little bit slower with that right hand, because it just completely is a different look for her. So not her fault, my fault. So I'm going to go over here and get the halter. But you notice I'm rubbing on her off side, her cheek over there, around her neck, her ears, getting her ready to accept this halter before I try to get her to take the halter. It's only been a few times that she's been caught in her entire life, so this is all way new for her. We think it should go a lot quicker than this, but sometimes it just doesn't. And you just got to take what the horse is willing to give you, and more importantly, what the horse is willing to accept and understand at any given point. Some things go pretty quick. Sometimes they don't go as quick as you and I'd want them to go, but it's just the way it is. So I want to prepare my tools, which in this case happens to be my lead rope and halter, before I walk over there. Because if I walk over there to her, me fiddling around with this lead rope and halter, she'd get really, really nervous. So I get all that done before I go over there. And then when I walk over, my tools are quiet. They're not making a lot of noise. They're not going to scare her. So I'm going to get her to follow me here a little bit. It's kind of hard for you guys to see because the camera's on my head. But just follow me a little bit. I reward that. Scratch on the head. And now we're going to see if we can catch her. We'll put the lead rope and halter under her neck. She's going to see that. She pulls back a little bit, but not much. I catch her, and then it's no big deal. The reason why it's no big deal is because I didn't make it a big deal. I'll rubber with it. You're used to seeing it over there on that other side. Because, she's going to see that over there the rest of her life. So the way we go about it in the early days will determine, how she's going to feel about it later on. I want to get her to flex her head back a little bit. We haven't done anything. We haven't worked on flexing nothing. So I'm not going to make a big deal of it. Her neck is kind of turned that way. It's good enough for me. So now with a halter and lead rope on her, I can be a little more aggressive because I don't have to worry about her trying to run away. I just want to rub her all over. And I'm going to rub her here where the cinch is going to go. Eventually, it's not going to go there today. But I want you to see when I'm down in her cinch area, behind her left front leg, you watch her, she starts twitching and looking, and you see her shaking there. She's probably never been touched there in her life. And remember, we're going to have to put a saddle on there. A cinch is going to go right there. So it's good to know that now, so I can kind of prepare her for it. And we're going to work on this a little later in this video, and I'll point that out to you. But just getting her used to the idea that somebody can touch her there, something that can be there, and she doesn't have to be all nervous and jumpy and shaky. And she is now, but it's all right. First time. Somebody stuck their hand under my armpit, and I've never felt that before. I'd be a little nervous about it too. So it's not her fault. We just want to take our time, and you'll hear me talking to her in a more quiet way, just so that I reassure her that she's okay. Nothing's going to happen to her. I promise I won't hurt her. She's got to learn that. She wasn't born that way. She's got to come to trust the human. That's you and me. And she has no reason to trust us. So it's not her fault. I don't blame her for being nervous or a little jumpy about things. Excuse me. So I just keep working at that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working with her feet. I'm pretty sure nobody has ever picked up her feet in their life. And so we're going to try that. Inside every horse's front leg or legs is a little place called a chestnut. Why they call it a chestnut, I have no clue. But it's a little hard piece of skin. And what I do is I pinch that and teach the horse to pick its foot up off the ground. Now I realize that my sticking my head down here might not be the best idea. So I decided to use the rope. And this is a great skill that all of you as trainers, if you're going to work with horses, this is a good skill to learn. I'm still going to use the same cue, but I'm going to get her used to the idea that something can touch her leg, be up there, around her leg, down on her hock, all of that. Just get her used to the idea that she can handle that. It's no big deal. And then I'll pick her foot up, and then when she relaxes, I'll put it down. Now there's some times that she's going to struggle, but I'm going to try to hang on to her foot and not turn loose until she relaxes long enough right there for me to put it down on my end. So I want it to be my idea to put her foot down. And we're going to go around, and I'm going to do all 4 feet. So I'll just let you watch.
7 years. Steel plates squeaked and clapped. My happy heart chimed and chattered. An old man pulled it from clean.
I'm going to show you a little trick about getting the rope between a horse's hind legs, not sticking your head down there. flip it out behind them, and then to let it slide between their hind legs. The lead ropes that I use, I get from a lady in Montana who makes tack currently. And these are ropes used on sailboats, yachting rope. And it has a lot of life to it, has a nice weight to it, so it's easy to flip around like that. And of course, those are available on the website for a small token of your appreciation. But we picked up her hind foot, just getting her used to that. Now the way the cue I use for the hind foot to pick it up is I'll reach down here in a bit and I'll squeeze on her elbow. That's the part of her leg that sticks out the most in the back right there when she has it up. Because that's going to be the cue. She's going to fight it a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to just try to hold on to her until she relaxes enough that I can put it down, rub her, tell her what a good girl she is. Good girl. And here comes the cue. She doesn't really get it. You see in the shadow, see her looking back at me. Like, what in the world are you doing? And it won't be long. She'll figure that out. Right there. And then I'll be able to take her leg out behind her, like if we were going to shoe her or trim her. But while I'm holding her foot up, I want to rub her, tell her what a good girl she is. And then we'll go to the other side. Deal. Rub her with the rope, and ask her to pick her foot up. And it's hard to tell because of where the camera is, but I'm holding on to her lead probably about 2 feet away from her head, so that if she tried to turn away, perhaps to kick me, well, I'd have control of her. She wouldn't be able to do that. So I'm pinching her just like she picks her foot up, hold it for just a little bit, waiting for her to relax, and then I'll put it down. We'll just chip away at this. I don't plan on putting shoes on her today or tomorrow, so I've got to get her ready for that. I've got to prepare her to be able to be willing to hold up her foot long enough for us to get that stuff done. So this all takes time. And remember, this is her bad side. This side she doesn't really like me on. And so it's a little more difficult for her on this side. And that's all understandable. It's all good. Nobody's ever, showed her any of this, so there's no reason for her to even begin remotely to understand what's going on. We just have to take our time, be patient. The last thing that we want to do is get upset and get angry. Right here, I'm just going to hold on to her. I know she's fighting it, but I don't want to turn loose. If I turn loose, I'm going to lose. When she steps forward, I'll let go. And she does. If it looks like you're going to get hurt, turn loose, right? You can always go catch your horse. Don't worry about that. So if you get in a situation and you're unsure, and you become a little nervous or frightful, just turn loose. Go catch your horse and start over again. But my experience has taught me that if I can hang on to that foot long enough until she gives to that pressure, then it's going to be easier for her the next time. And it'll be easier for her the next time, as you can see. I know. She does not like me being over her. She's just one of those things. She'll just have to adjust to it. And we'll give her time to do that. Chin the chestnut, picks up her foot. Try to rub her, hold her as she steps forward, gives to that pressure there. And we'll start again. Good. If she lets me rub that, that's going to be good enough. We're going to call it good. And we'll go to the back foot. A nifty little trick, the rope between the legs. Takes a little practice, but want to be sticking your hand down there to grab that hind foot if your horse has never been touched, because you'll probably be missing an ear or something else on your head. Or at the very least have a knot on your head. So it won't be the horse's fault. It'll be your fault because you stuck your head down there. We want to prepare our horses for these things. Just don't expect that they're going to lick it off a fence. They're not. We have to be patient. We have to understand how they feel about what's going on, and present it to them in the easiest way that we can so that they can understand it. There's no glory in getting hurt when you're working with your horse. So just don't. Just be careful. You know, it's not if, it's when, because you're probably going to get hurt. We've all been hurt. You know, mainly because we just get in a big hurry. So it's not if, it's when. So you want to minimize your chances of getting hurt. So that was pretty good. Pretty good for her feet for her first time. I'm pretty darn sure nobody's picked up her feet. They've never been trimmed. So now I'm going to show you what I was talking about, getting this horse ready for a cinch, a saddle. Remember when I was rubbing her under her, in her girth area, how jumpy she was? I'm setting her up right now. Nifty little trick here that you can learn to catch the rope when it comes around, and then I'm going to rub her body with this rope. My left hand is holding her lead close enough that if she decides to try to spin, I can keep her from turning her hind end toward me to kick me. See that pressure that I put on her cinch area? I'm going to put pressure on that cinch area. It's quite a bit of pressure to see what her reaction is, and she doesn't react at all, and that's a good sign. That tells me that maybe when we put on her first saddle, that maybe it won't be a big deal for her. So that's pretty much it. She got a little nervous about me putting my hands around her head, so now I'm going to really put my hands around her head. And she'll get used to it. These are all things that I look for in a horse, things that she has trouble with that I can help her with. So remember, you know, 3 or 4 months from now, we're going to be selling this little filly. So if you think you might be interested in getting yourself a young horse, she's definitely a sweetheart. You can always come to the barn and look at her, or I'll send you pictures. If you have any questions, why, just send me a message and we'll do what we can to answer. Please make sure, if you can and if you will, to share this around with your friends and see if we can find Mona a nice place. Thanks for your support, and I appreciate it very, very much, and we'll see you down the trail.